TRW, Royalists and Roundheads won the Battle of Naseby. 1200 hours turn, but we're halfway through the game turn. We're getting ready to start the second player movement phase. Second player being the parliamentarian army here under Fairfax right here, overall leader. I left a note for myself after last play session to review again because I may have missed it. I don't know if I did or I didn't, but reviewing again, I know I've mentioned this before, I'll go ahead and mention it again. Units with attack commands, so combat units adjacent to enemy combat units, wait, I'm wording this my own way, by memory. So combat units with an attack command adjacent to enemy combat units must conduct attacks, fire and or melee. So I'm going to mention this again. I mean, the way I see it and the way I play it is, if you're not concerned about sticking to the limitations and requirements of the commands, then the game is really a pretty boring move and shoot game. But if you stick to the commands, that helps it become interesting. But it's remembering, especially when you shift from one command to another, to remember to follow the restrictions. Okay. There is nothing impeding. There's nothing impeding my enjoyment of the game here, my interest in the play. Right now, the only thing that would stop me from playing here is if I get an opportunity, or I should say, if I feel a need to prepare for some face-to-face play of another game, obviously. Then I may want to practice that game. Which, I mean, I could keep 2 games going. That is an option. But right now I'm just keeping 1 game going at a time. But the important point here is, there's just nothing impeding my interest here. This is great. It's a incredibly rough system for sure. It has some incredible issues and rough parts, but it still really comes together and does something. All right. Let's see, movement phase. Second player now checks the parliamentarian side here. It's going to check for units to be out of command and then move. So actually, but after last play session, I went ahead and I added up all the points for determining. So parliamentarian losses are compared to the Naseby battle table for the Royalist player to roll on, and I think I was over 20 points. But again, this battle, surprisingly, I still don't understand why the designer went with this, but it is 50. It is 50. If I remember correctly, it's 50 points. Parliamentary losses for the Royalists to win. Check the following table, and it starts with parliamentarian losses at 50 points. So I passed 20, so I guess I was close to halfway there. Understanding that number can change dramatically when every single one of these units could recover. And then, the points would plummet again. So very interesting. I still find that very interesting. Now, if you're following the mechanic really closely, I am going to point out that it's a bit of a chore. Every single turn. Well, no, I shouldn't say it. Well, no. Most turns, except for the earliest turns in the game where you can be pretty confident that you're nowhere near the level to check. after that, after the first few turns of a battle, it is a task and a bit of a chore to go through and count up, because, okay, it's easy to count up routed units. You just go like this, 4 points, 4 strength points, because it's by strength points, 4, you go through and count them up. It's easy. You have your eliminated units to the side of the map. You add up those strength points. But the one that's a bit more of a chore is, I'll give an example, right? Butler's cavalry here has a strength of 4 on the front side. Reduced side is 2. So if it were there, if it were at this point in the battle, this is worth 2 points to the Royalist player. So going through and tracking those reduced units and then doing the difference between, because it's the difference between the front and the back, difference between the full strength and reduced strength or half strength. Yeah, but the point, of course, is if you like the mechanic, and I really like the mechanic, I'll go ahead and do that chore, go through that chore. All right. Command, here's Ireton, command span of 5, so he's got his units he can trace through these hexes even though they're in enemy zones of control because they're friendly occupied. Oh, here we go. Now is when the out of command marker comes off. There, Butler's back in command. This is in the enemy zones of control, so you do have to count around 1, 2, 3, 4 to association horse there. So here we have skip on. Oh yeah, I'm not sure how much it matters for these. Oh wait, I was about to put an out of command marker on the skirmisher there, but actually, I mean, if skirmishers don't follow commands, then they ignore command shit. So can they even be out of command? No. So as well, they would never suffer the effects of being out of command. And there are 4 main ones. I'm going to go over those effects of being out of command, like Butler was just there. 1, may not move adjacent to the enemy combat unit. 2, if in an enemy zone of control, cannot move. 3, and this is important, you do not receive any combat die roll modifier for your current command. So if you're defending and your formation leader has a stand command, you're not going to get the +1. Or if the commander has an attack. Wait a minute. You wouldn't be attacking. Would you be attacking? 4, if they move, they must attempt to move within command span of their leader. That all makes sense. So can they... Okay, no. Out of command, may not initiate melee. That's funny. They should have had that under the command rules. They have it under the melee combat rules. Can they fire? That's funny. It doesn't say that out of command units can't fire, so I guess they can fire. But then again, commands don't influence fire combat. Okay, so you're not going to get any die roll modifier for your command, and I think the biggest one is probably when you're defending and your formation is under current stand orders, stand command. You're not going to get that +1 in the defense. Yeah, that is because your other, lancers with an attack command when attacking doesn't apply. Cavalry with an attack command when attacking doesn't apply. Infantry with an attack command when attacking doesn't apply. So the plus would be... Yeah, it is only the stand order in the defense. Okay. So practically speaking, it's only +1 for a stand command in the defense. All right. So it doesn't matter that the skirmisher unit there is cut off command-wise, and all the rest looks good. Okay, so movement, to review, IR-10 has still has a stand command. So Fleetwood can move up there. Route units, routed units. Okay. Yeah, let's leave that. Skip on, stand. Fairfax. Yeah, I'll leave him there. Alright, Cromwell changed. Cromwell, yeah, under attack command now. So, must move 1/2 movement allowance and closer to the enemy. Must move at least half their movement allowance, any fractions rounded up, and must end their movement closer to enemy units than they began. Okay. So they are attacking, and they're mainly attacking uphill here. Is that what? Whaley? Yes, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to get to 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Oops. Half of the movement allowance. 1, 2, 3, and I can't move anymore. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Movement. Okay, second player or parliamentarian. Combat phase. Fire phase first, defensive fire. Let's see. We have the infantry there. So we have the Royalist infantry in the center. Royalist cavalry on the Royalist left. They're not going to fire. They can't fire pistols as defensive fire. But we do have the musketeer over there. But let's start with. I guess we'll start with here. Bard's infantry there against the Forlorn Hope unit there. So they roll a 5. That is a morale check for infantry. Yeah, they easily pass with a 3. Ooh, we got a lot of infantry. Infantry fire here. York's infantry is going to fire against Skip-On, but that is -1 to fire up the hill. So basically, I need a 6 for a morale check. So York against Skip-On's infantry there, nothing. Page against Skip-On's infantry, 2, nothing. Was that Lyle against Montague there? It's a 5, -1 is 4, not enough. Astley's infantry, or the infantry Astley is stacked with against Fairfax infantry. Still -1. Nothing. Okay. Firing uphill, not good. And I guess really, yeah, just the musketeer over there. Musketeers do get +1 at range 1. But 2 + 1 is 3. Not enough. Nothing. Alright. That's defensive fire. Now we go to offensive fire. So Forlorn Hope. Musketeer there is actually going to fire against... they have no facing, so all 6 hexes are front. They can fire in any direction. They're actually going to fire against York. They're going to fire back against York's infantry there. +1 at range 1. There we go. 5 + 1 is 6, but musketeers can only cause a morale check. York's infantry has a very high morale of 10. And they pass with a 7. Okay. Well, actually, over here, I will fire here. This is all, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, range of 3, 3, and 4. That's all the same column or row, I guess. Musketeers, no modifier, so it's just a 6 for morale check. 4, 6. There we go. Now there's no point in shooting again because they can only check morale once for this phase, for this fire phase. Now is it fire phase or total combat phase? That I need to get right. Yeah, they roll a 4. They're fine. So I'm talking about the commanded musketeers there. So they easily pass that. So more offensive fire. This Forlorn Hope against York's infantry. Now I got to remember, York's infantry did... Actually, York's infantry, I know it was like 2 minutes ago, but I think York's infantry did roll a morale check, so they can't actually get... Again, the musketeers can only get a... the best they can get is a morale check on the enemy. So I guess it's the rest of the infantry here on the line. So Skipon's infantry firing down at... I mean, they could fire at York and try to get a 1, get a step loss. But they'll just go ahead and fire against Page there. Alright, they get a 5. That is a morale check on the infantry column. That's Skipon's infantry. There's Pickering's infantry there. So Page. Can't believe I'm reading this tiny font from here. Very high morale of a 10. They roll a 5. They're fine. Montague's infantry against Lyle's infantry. That's a 5 too. So Lyle has a morale of 9. Yep, they pass with a 5. And then finally Fairfax against Astley's infantry there. The infantry Astley is stacked with. He rolls a 3. Not enough for anything. I'm going to save Cromwell's cavalry's offensive fire. Again, I'm experimenting. I used to have them fire first and then go into melee. Now I'm thinking maybe I want to do something first, cause some losses first, and maybe use the fire combat later in the attack, later in the offensive. Melees. I'll figure out my melees and mark them. So Fairfax's parliamentary army here, I mean, they're basically on the defensive. So I'm still going to let the Royalist attack on the left and the center. Yeah, and take advantage of the staying commands. Yeah, so I'm designating 3 melees. What I'm doing right now is I'm experimenting with just massing as much as I can in concentrated attacks. So instead of attacking every single defender along the line, instead I'm going to have these 3 attack there, these 2 attack here, and these 3 attack here. The reason being, of course, it's the pre-melee morale checks that are driving this. So we have 9, 9, and 9 left to right. I'll get the names right. Whaley? Yeah, Whaley. Whaley rolls a 5. So Whaley is in. Whaley A, Whaley B. Oh, they roll a 10. Center unit is not in. And then Cromwell A, Cromwell's cavalry, unit A. Oh, they're not in either. They roll a 10. So it's only Whaley A on the side there. At least he gets a flank attack. But that's going to be counteracted by meleeing up the hill. So that's actually going to be even. Defender is North Horse. One of the North Horse units. They have a morale of 8. It's not so hot. Yep, and they fail. 7 plus 2 is 9. So they go in specific order here. Turn them away from the attacker. Route marker on them, and they retreat 1 to 3 hexes. I'll go 1, 2. Now they're going to 1, 2, 3. And then Whaley advances. There we go. Yeah, here. Fines and Cromwell. One of Fines' units and one of Cromwell's cavalry. Ooh, 7. Fines is not in. They roll an 8. So Cromwell's cavalry B, they're in. 7. So only Cromwell here. The defender has a morale of 8. Who is that? That's another North Horse unit. 8. Okay, so 8. And they have a printed morale of 8, so they're in. Combat rolls. Alright, so Cromwell's cavalry gets 4 plus 1 for the attack command. Oh, and they are on the same level. So that's actually a 5. 5 for 4 strength is 4 to 6 column. I think that's a morale check. That is a morale check. So North Horse checks again, and they fail. They roll 12, so they will rout after I do their combat back. So they have a strength of 2. They have a stand command. They are defending, so they actually do get a +1. +1 for the command. Oh, they don't only roll a 2. +1 is 3. That's nothing. So turn them away like that. Route marker on them, and 1, 2. That was Cromwell. He's going to move, and then he can change facing. It's actually going to turn this way. No, this way. Face the unit that's going to have. Face the unit that you're going to be in their front of. Yeah. It's horrible English, but yeah. Alright, here we got 7, 9, and 9. So Fines B. Boy, they really didn't want to fight here, did they? But they pass. They roll a 6. They're in. Then we have Rossiter. First Rossiter unit, they roll 2. They are in. It's a 2. And the other Rossiter unit, they're in as well. They roll a 4. So all 3 attackers are in. That is going to be a 7 total strength. And I actually get up on the 3rd column of the melee table. I'm going to talk about that another time. Now let's see. Oh, and the defenders only commanded musketeers. Wow. They have a morale of 9, and they fail. Oh. I should not have done that. I should not have done that, actually. Oh, no, wait, these are cavalry. Yeah, so. Yeah, I should have rolled for the possibility of retreating. 5 or a 6. Yeah, I'm going to do that. They should have rolled. Okay, they failed. So they didn't, so I'm going to keep the 10 morale check. And so they rout. No, they can route through. They can route through enemy zone of control. How's it worded? It's Skirmish units may retreat through enemy zones of control. Doesn't get any simpler than that, does it? So turn them away. Oh. Now I see about my audio here. Alright. One, two, three. I'm going to move them back all the way. And then all three were involved, so I'm going to move this guy forward, keep that facing. There we go. Okay, so that's the melee for the second player, the parliamentarian side. So second player, parliamentary rally phase. So the parliamentarian or second player attempts to rally routed units. This unit is not in the commander's command span. He's out of command span, but these two are in. So I'll do this unit. Yeah. Oops. Oh, that was sloppy. It was a 3. +1 for... Oops, no, I can't remember where... Yeah. I don't remember where he was. +1 for being routed, but he has a morale of 9. So he actually rallies. This unit has morale of 9, +1 for being routed. Oh, he fails. Well, that's the highest possible roll. Okay, so he routes 3 more. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Facing away from the enemy. Oops. All right. This works. Actually, they're both within their commander's command span, but they can even be within the overall leader's command span. So Montague's infantry there with 8. Oh, they fail. They roll at 12. +1 for being routed is 13. 1, 2, 3. And this unit... And they rally. So 7. 7 + 1 is 8. They have a pretty morale of 9. So they rally. And then the first player would check to see if he rolls for victory. Actually, I talked about that earlier. So, but we're not even close to 50.